Hi everybody, Pastor Michael here. We're talking about developing your rhythm or your relationship with God. And it's so important. I really believe this is a key to you experiencing all that God has for you, is developing that rhythm with God, to your walk with God. So all week we've been repeating ourselves on purpose. Repetition is a mother of memory. Devotion to Christ is the place where the human heart is most satisfied. If you want to become more satisfied with your life, become more devoted to Christ, said another way. See, you can have devotions, we talked about that, without devotion. You can go through the motions without the movement in your heart, without the rhythm in your heart. But you can't have devotion without devotions. That's why we're bringing these 6 tools to light so you can see them and help use them to develop that rhythm, as we call it, with God. Tool number 5, write in your journal. It's a cool looking journal, isn't it? It's like a pirate's journal. I mean, it's got leather and it's got stuff inside of it. Let me just say this. This is the hidden tool. Not this particular one, but the journal is the hidden tool. There are all kinds of things recorded in my journal, but I'll get back to that in just a moment. Let me talk about how to get the best out of your journal, okay? How to get the best out of a journal. Because people go, what do I do with this? I mean, okay, I've got up in the morning, I did the Bible reading plan, I read it, and now what do? Do I write down? What do I write down? What do I do with it later? Do I ever come back and look at it? Let me talk about, just for a moment, how to get the most out of your journal. First of all, choose one you'll actually use. See, I think this is a cool journal. I've had some before that were more kind of like, Brainiac, where the pops open and the paper goes in and, like you take your notes. I've had those before. I've had kind of cool ones like this, but the truth is, use it. If you think it's cool and you're attracted to it, you'll use it. That's the bottom line. So use it as a devotional journal. So in other words, put your prayers in there, write some prayers in there, put a date at the top, write some verses in there maybe, include some promises, something that you've noted from a Bible study, or maybe a sermon that you heard somebody preach and you wrote down some notes from that. But it's more than that. Mine is more than that. I've learned that if I really want to use the journal, I've got to make the journal a thing I'm going to use. So if you look at my backpack, it's in there every single time. If it's not in my backpack, it's in my car. I've got plans for the future. I've got vacation plans in there. There are all kinds of things that I list when I'm going to change my oil. See, because if I only use it, now don't judge me for using this term, if I only use it for religious things, then I'm never going to get the best out of it. I need to use it in a way that it contributes to my life and becomes part of who I am. That's why we go back and talk about this rhythm with God. And so let me tell you what I do. Let me tell you how I use it spiritually, okay? So I've written down prayers and I've written down summaries of sermons or spiritual kind of stuff. I go back for the last 30 days and I just take a day and I go back over the last 30 days and I summarize, or I write the most important things, kind of making that 30 days into one day. And then at the end of the year, I've got 11 of those 1 days and the month of December, and I just do the same thing. I summarize it down, and now I've got 12 one-month summaries, and then here comes the big challenge, to take those 12 one-month summaries and to turn them into one summary. So Michael, why is that even important? Because God is speaking, and you don't know the number of times in my life when God was speaking and I wasn't listening, and I get to my journal and I summarize it and then summarize it one more time, and all of a sudden, there it is. That's why God's been teaching me this, and that's why God's been dealing with me about that. So here's the bottom line. To get the most out of your life, get the most out of your journal. See you tomorrow.